Behind me here is one of the boats I've been most looking forward to seeing at the Düsseldorf Boat Show. This is a new Windy 37 Shamal. It's their brand new sports boat, and it's powered by a pair of 440 horsepower Volvo D6 engines, giving it a top speed estimated to be somewhere around 47-48 knots. It should be a whole heap of fun. So let's jump on board, take a look round and see what it's got to offer. We've got a big bathing platform at the stern, and then a large sun pad at the back with this very nice kind of diamond effect stitching on it. And underneath there is quite a sizable locker. If we can just lift off this cushion, and then that lifts up to reveal a narrow locker so you can keep your water sports gear, lines and fenders in there. It's not actually a tender garage, but it's a useful bit of storage. Thank you. And then that all slots neatly back into position. And then the sun pad itself, which also doubles as the backrest for the dinette area, all of that slides forward and backwards as well. So you can see that that pushes all the way across so that you can have it facing into the boat if you want to, or indeed back out over the aft. Just gives a bit more flexibility. Then the dinette itself, there's a big composite table. You can see that they fold in and out. There is talk of offering a teapot teak option too, if you want the more traditional finish. And then over on the port side, there's this huge wet bar with very sizable smeg grill, sink, fridge underneath, really chunky stainless steel grab rail, so when you're moving through the cockpit there's something to hang on to. Now the other thing to notice is there is a large extra surface area that flips up, locks into place, so that when you are preparing lunch, grilling something, you've also got somewhere to put things down without having to put it either on the sink or the grill. And if you look round the back, you can see it's not quite flush with the cockpit coamings. That's because you can probably see here there are the stainless steel supports for a huge canopy that wraps right around the boat. Again, you need to lift up that. You can see it extending under there. It goes all the way under the seats. So you lift the seats up, all those lockers, and then the whole thing pulls up manually and then has an electric tensioner so that the whole of the cockpit can be shaded from the sun or rain. Then moving further forward, there's the Helm Station. Two very nice supportive bolster seats. Those obviously slide up and down whether you want to be seated or standing. There's a rather nice single spoke helm, nice modern touch. Big multifunction screen. You've got your navigation controls. This particular boat is powered by a pair of D6 440 horsepower stern drives, giving it a top speed very close to 50 knots, probably around 47-48 knots. They haven't actually done a full sea trial yet, but they're expecting around that. And of course it means you can have the joystick control of those stern drives, so you can berth it nice and easily too. Windy always do a really good job of their Helm Station, so there's a nice little space there to put your mobile phone or handheld VHF, and the throttles extend out, so it's a really natural driving position whether you're seating or standing. Very, very comfortable. They also do this good idea of a nice grab rail wherever you are on the boat, so whether you're at the helm, it's not just on the side there, that windscreen, there's a little rail all the way around there. It means there's always something to hang on to, and when you're traveling at 45 odd knots or more, that's exactly what you need. Now this is very much from their dayboat range, so rather than having side decks, they use the full width of the cockpit, which means you've got steps up through the windscreen to the foredeck. Not actually difficult to navigate at all. They're nice broad steps. You've got grab rails where you need them, so it's very easy to step up through the opening window. So those both need to be open like that, and then you can lift it up and get through to the foredeck. Now there's another little unusual feature here. You can probably notice there's actually none of the normal non-slip finish on this. That's because they wanted to go for a real super yacht finish, more of a sort of super yacht tender. And of course there is this teak walkway down the middle here, so that you can get safely enough to the anchor locker, to the cleats. But it does look a little bit strange, and of course these two black smoke pieces of glass and the hatch let light through down into the accommodation. So you can go down there, just navigate those steps, and you see how that That little step just sticks out a bit at the bottom. Again, makes it nice and easy and natural to move down. There's a storage locker in here, which I can't quite, oh there we go, that opens that. And then you've got a really big storage space down there. Always handy, you can't get enough storage on a day boat. And then going down into the accommodation section. So they have kept this open plan. Again, because it's really a sports boat, they decided not to put a separate forward cabin, so they've kept that open, but you've got that big V-berth forward. Really nice quality of finish down here. You can probably see all this nice woodwork. Everything's got good positive latches, very smart blinds, nice little reading lights forward, and a TV up there. And then there is this galley down here, so you've got that wet bar up in the cockpit, but there is a proper galley down here, so you've got another fridge in there. Very useful, plenty of work surfaces. Again, everything nicely fiddled, and lots of storage space, both below waist level and up above. There are more lockers here with all the crockery, everything you need. And these little recycling bins. So being Scandinavian, they're very, very keen on the environment. So rather than a single bin, they've got two separate ones, so you can store your recyclable trash, your aluminium cans, your glass bottles in one, and keep your rubbish in a separate one. Now, there is a second berth under here. This is the one that runs under the cockpit. And what's rather clever about this is during the day you can leave it open so that it all feels very much part of the boat. You've got a nice little window out into the cockpit, letting a bit more light in there, a bit of storage in here, and a good sized bed. But cleverly, if you want privacy, so that you've got two couples, say, sleeping on the boat, this, what looks like a wooden bulkhead here, if you slide these little latches back up top, that swings open and shuts into place. And you can probably see now that is a completely separate private cabin area. That very clever sort of double hinge door gives you the privacy you need at night, but then clicks back into place, secures neatly there, and then you've got that lovely open plan feeling again. And most important of all, there is a really good size bathroom on here. So it's obviously the day heads, but also makes a good bathroom at night. Really good size, good headroom in here. You can stand up very easily, and there is a proper separate shower with teak grating, so you're not going to get wet feet every time you need to use this. Really important to have a good sized bathroom on a boat this size. So there you go, that's the interior. We've seen the cockpit already. We know it's got a very deep V hull. It's about 20, I think it's 21.5 degrees at the transom. It's a nice narrow design, plenty of power from those 400 or 440 horsepower engines. Should be a really fun boat to drive. There's one more neat little feature about these cockpit seats. See these little sections? They all fold down to create lovely little individual cup holders. So everybody sitting there can have their own little cup holder if they don't want to be putting it on the table. Very stylish little feature. And one more thing I was going to show you. This is the engine room on the Windy 37 Shamal. So all electronically powered, lifts up, giving fantastic access to the engines. You can see them down here, twin 440s. That's what gives you the power, and of course it also gives you a better view of this huge canopy that lifts up and provides that sunshade. We'll obviously be bringing you a sea trial just as soon as we can, but in the meantime, that concludes our tour of the brand new Windy 37 Shamal.